Well, hi everyone, and welcome to the Buffett and Beyond Stock of the Week, and we're going over Micron technology. And folks, it is up 1,050% over 5 years, just about all of it taking place in the past 1 year. And remember, folks, if you want to live and walk on this beach like Jimmy Buffett once did, you've got to learn how to invest even better than Warren Buffett does now. And what does Micron do? Well, it manufactures and markets semiconductor devices and components used in the computer, telecom, and office automation industries. All right, that's pretty vague, but let's see what's really been happening recently behind the scenes. Micron has effectively become Nvidia's most important memory supplier. Micron is now one of the primary suppliers of high bandwidth memory, HBM, used in Nvidia's latest AI accelerators. And why this matters? Every Nvidia AI GPU requires multiple stacks of HBMs. And as the GPU, which is Nvidia's product, folks, as GPU performance increases, the amount of memory per GPU also increases. And memory has become one of the biggest bottlenecks in AI infrastructure. And the question is it going to last? Well, Wall Street analysts increasingly view Micron as one of the largest beneficiaries of AI spending because every expansion of Nvidia's GPU shipments generally requires additional Micron memory. Now, here's the important stuff. Micron announced a 16-year multi-strategic customer agreement. New agreement with Anthropic also, rather than Open AI directly. So Anthropic is building extremely large AI clusters, making memory one of the largest hardware costs. Now, Micron benefits directly because OpenAI purchases enormous quantities of Nvidia systems. So there we go, folks. It's all tied in, and Micron seems to be sitting in the right place at the right time. And let us look at the numbers. Blue represents the large cap average stock, and green represents Micron. Now we're talking about the clean surplus return on equity here, and think of this as a bank. Would you rather put your money in a bank that's earning you 13.5% or per year, or one that's earning you 45% per year? Yeah, not much of a question. Net income, average stock 13%. Nvidia, look at this, 79%. It's higher than that right now because this is only next year's. The higher average is just over 104%. So we put this here as the 1 year average. The other numbers are 5 year averages, and revenue of the average stock is about 7.1%. Revenue here for Micron is 61%. And folks, it's bringing that to the bottom line right here. This is what you look at. So yeah, we really like Micron, but is it too high priced? And when you look at these graphs, you're going to think about it. But let's look at the numbers first. Now, let's go way back because Micron has been a good company in the past, but it's intermittent. Like in 2016, it lost 27 cents. The very next year, it made $4.41 a share. And then 2018, $11.95 a share, then dropped in half, then dropped by 2/3. And now it's starting in 2023, lost money. Then all of a sudden it started coming up. And with these new contracts, this is what it looks like for 2027. And this is what it looks like for 2026. And these numbers have been upgraded. They don't reflect the latest movements with Anthropic and Open AI. So this might even be higher. And here's that 97% return on equity, which is absolutely crazy. Retention rate, 99% for next year and 99% this year. And folks, that means it's taken all the money it's making, put it back into itself in order to grow, to supply those memory chips. It's the memory people like Micron that have the tiger by the tail right now. Years to pay debt, almost nothing when you consider this number right in here. Now, this is different than our computer program says because our computer program doesn't have the 2027 number yet, and that's what this is based on. So years to pay debt, even without this number over here, years to pay debt, is only 1 year. But when you consider next year's potential growth, you're looking at almost 1 month to pay off all its debt if it took all its money to pay off the debt. That's Buffett's rule of thumb. And the recent dividend is almost nil. Look at this market cap, folks. This is, you never see trillion there. When you go back and look at our stock analysis, and when you look at the new ones, this is always in billions. And folks, this is 1.1 trillion. Look at that. Unbelievable. And let's go to the year to date, and we can see that this stock back here was kind of level, and then all of a sudden it's shot up and it's coming down. And that's why I'm talking about this, because look how it has dropped about 30% from its high down to, this is Thursday, I'm recording this, and this indicator down here pointing almost straight down. So if we want to get into Micron, we want to wait until this starts to level out. So watch our daily letters and you'll be able to see when this starts to turn, because we definitely are keeping an eye on it, folks, because we don't have it in our growth portfolio because of how erratic it was in the past. We've always been looking at Micron, and then all of a sudden the news came out. And of course, a lot of this jump in here took place before the news came out. Wonder why. But anyway, we're looking at it now, and we know that when these things spike up, and let's look at the next slide, when these things spike up like this, yeah, you got to be very, very afraid. And you know it's going to come back down again. And right now, the semiconductors are under pressure. So how long is it going to last? A week or so? 2 weeks? Who knows? But we'll wait till this thing actually bottoms out. Right now, it's below the 50-day moving average, which is this blue line in here. Here's the 200-day moving average. Boy, it'd be nice if it got down to there, unless you own it, of course. But then we might jump in here someplace. And let's go over 1 year and look at this $128 number in here, back in August of 2025. And let me go back to the chart again. Here's that number right in here. So it was down to about 128, 129, and then all of a sudden it took off like a rocket. And this is about a little less than a year ago, and this whole rise took place at that particular time. And this stock hit a high of being up about $1,254. And folks, it's up 1,000%. Or it was up 1,000%. So we look at this 1 year again, and yeah, it's below the 50-day moving average. The 20-day moving average, the screen line, is turning down, and we have to see if it hits this 50-day moving average, because that could be very bearish for the stock. But we're going to keep an eye on this stock. And remember our analysis. Our goal is to build our wealth faster and safer with better than average stocks. Now, how safe is Micron? Well, we know they've been a good company in the past, except they have been erratic. Lack of consistency is why it hasn't been in our portfolio. But other years, it looked very, very good. And we were ready to jump on it, but then we didn't, because then they lost money. So the thing is that we want a safer stock, and with those 16-year contracts it's got, folks, that's pretty nice. So it's going to make money over the next 16 years for sure. And the thing is, let's wait till this thing bottoms out and the semiconductors are not under as much pressure as they are right now, because everybody is worrying about AI. Is it really going to come to fruition? Is it going to make money? Because these companies that are supplying and coming up with AI has yet to prove itself. To me, it's been proven, but can it be proven to make as much money as we're spending on it, or all the companies are spending on it? So that's what we look for. We want to build our wealth faster and safer, and that's what we're looking at, is that safe number right there. So folks, we had another wild week this past week, and oh my gosh, questions about AI, and then of course you have the problems on the other side of the world over there with the price of oil, but inflation looked good this past week. Price of oil should be coming down. They say it's going to be coming down, and the economy is doing very, very well out there. So the key is the semiconductors. They're up, they're down, they're all over the place. So you go out, forget about this crazy market, be with your family, be with your loved ones, have Sunday dinner with them. And folks, stay healthy, stay safe. We'll see you back here in a couple of days.